Today I get to work on a 5-horse, 3-phase, totally enclosed, fan-cooled Baldor motor. Now this guy here has some bearing issues. I'll give the shaft a spin here and let you hear what it sounds like. Yeah, them are pretty rough. So let's take this thing apart, clean it up, put some new bearings in, and get her back together. First thing I'm going to do is remove the key out of the keyway here. Next I do the punch marks like I do on every motor. You can see here the way I punch it is I just put one on the front bell and then on the stator and then two in the rear. That way when putting it back together everything lines up, no guesswork. Next I'm going to take the grease zerks out because we will be replacing the bearings with sealed bearings, so we don't have any reason to grease them, and also this will help for the cleanup just to get the grease out of the tubes and the end bells. Next we're going to remove the external cooling fan simply by loosening the single bolt on here, and then I'll grab my wonder bars, one on each side, and it'll come off pretty easy. Now I'm going to open up the junction box and see what's inside. On the nameplate here you can see it shows the diagram for low voltage and high voltage, pretty standard for a 9-leaded 3-phase motor. Let's take a look inside the junction box here at the wiring and see how they have it connected. Just having the 1, 2, and 3 by themselves gives me an indication right away that this is connected 460. So that means we should have 1, 2, and 3, 4, 7, 5, 8, 6, and 9 should all be tied together. Not as a group of 4 and 7 together, 5 and 8 together, and 6 and 9 together. So here's the 3 power leads. It is wired for 460. Let's get the megger out and see if it makes good. Now what the megger does is it tests the insulation of the windings, the 3 different groups, the 3 phases to the stator to ground. So first thing I'll do is just make sure I got a good ground on here. So metal to metal, give me a 0 reading on the meter. Then I'll just go to 1, 2, and 3. We want a reading of 550 is the best this meter goes to, but anything over 200 is actually considered good. But as you can see, I'm getting 550 on all 3 phases, so we're good. Next, I'll go ahead and pull these 2 bolts and get the junction box separated from the stator so we can set it aside for cleaning. I'll just use a dead blow here and give it a light tap. It breaks it free. And then also we're going to want to make sure and take note of the conduit hole. The conduit opening is down on this one, as you'll see here. That way when we put it back on, we put it back on the same way. Just want to make sure everything goes back the way it came in. I'm just going to use a scraper knife, a putty knife here, and just tap it with the dead blow and get this old gasket off of here and out of the way so we can clean her up. And we'll put a new gasket on when it goes back together. Now we just remove the nuts from the 4 through bolts and pull out the bolts, and we will be ready to get our first look inside. Now I'm going to use my dead blow and hit the shaft here on the opposite drive end. That pushes the front bell off, and it also breaks the bearing free from the rear. So now I'll take a chisel and put it on the lip here that's on the end bell and just give that a light tap with my hammer and bust that back bell free. And then I'll take the dead blow to the front and just tap around the bell like this until it breaks it free from the bearing, and the front will be free. Now we got our first look inside, and we can see that there's been a little bit of excessive greasing. It's not too bad. but there is a lot in there. It sounds like they were trying to mask the problem, but we'll go ahead and get her taken care of now. And you can see in the front end's about the same way. Next, I grabbed my little homemade cradle here that I use just for keeping the rotor from rolling off the bench. So I'll grab it and carefully slide it out and set it over on the side there to get it out of the way. Unlike single phase motors, the 3-phase pretty much is basically just your rotor and 2 bearings. There's no switches to deal with, just so it's fairly simple to clean up. First step is pulling off the bearings. I grab my 3-jaw puller and slip it on here and get her in place. You'll notice that this does have a shaft protector on the end of it there. That way, when it's pressing against the shaft, it doesn't do any damage to it. It's protected. It's always good to take a look close and make sure you don't have any kind of snap ring in front of the bearing holding it on. This one does not, so we'll pull it off. I'm going to go ahead and take note of what size bearing it is, so we put the right one back on. And now we'll pull off the other bearing and take note of that one as well. I'm just going to take a second here and wipe the extra grease off, but we'll come back and clean her up better here in a little bit. Next, we're going to get the grease cleaned out of the stator here before we re-insulate it. To do that, I'll just use some rags and I'll use a brush and some non-conductive electric motor degreaser here. I can spray that in, wipe it around to get all that grease out, blow it out, and it'll be good to go. Just as a precautionary, I'll measure once more to make sure that we're still good. Perfect. Stator's all cleaned up and ready to be re-insulated. And for that, we'll use the red insulating varnish. When I'm spraying with this, I'll spray from the inside out just to keep the insulating varnish inside the stator where it's supposed to be and on the winding and off the outside metal. Alright, we're looking pretty coated. We'll get her in front of a fan, and while it's drying, we'll move on to cleaning up the end bells. I'm going to pull the spring load out, and then I'll just use degreaser to go ahead and clean the grease out of these bells. Now I use some new bearings that I put in there just to test them to make sure there's not too much wobble, that the previous bearings didn't bore out the end bells, and these ones turn out pretty good. Now turn on the parts cleaner and take them over and clean them up and get the rest of the grease out of them. I'll give them a quick rinse and then get them dry. Now when drying them, you do want to make sure and get everything dry because we're going to be using the re-insulating varnish and painting the inside of these bells, and we do not want to trap any moisture in. Next step is taping off where the bearings ride in the end bells. That way when we paint them, we don't get, obviously paint where the bearings ride. And now I recoat them, doing it kind of the same way as the stator from the inside out, just to keep the paint to the inside. Looking pretty good. Now I'll let them dry. While they're drying, we'll move back to the rotor here and use some degreaser and get it cleaned up and ready for fresh bearings. Now I'll turn on my cone bearing heater and get the bearings ready. I use a wax marking pin that I'll put around the inner race of the bearings, and that way when they heat up to 250 degrees on the cone heater there, that will melt, and then I'll know the metal is expanded enough to slip right onto the shaft. While that's heating up, I'll go ahead and grab some Scotch-Brite here and clean up the shaft just to make sure there's no burrs, no extra anything in the way. Just kind of want to make sure it's free of everything so the bearing slides right on. And then I'll coat it with a thin layer of oil here just to help the bearing slip right on. Alright, the wax is melted on there, so I'll use my gloved hand here and carry it over and slip it on. And it goes on just like that. Now I'll get her turned around, get the back side ready, and install that bearing. It slides right on. Now I'll clean up the rest of the parts here and get ready for reassembly. Now I'm going to use my red insulating paint and go ahead and coat the junction box, the cover, and the fan cover as well. That just helps to protect them from rust and other contaminants. Alright, now I have all the parts cleaned here. Everything's ready to go back. So we'll start by slipping the rotor back into the stator. Do this carefully. Reach through and grab this side and then help guide it. That way you don't hit the winding with any of the fins on the rotor. There we go. It slides in just like that. Now I'll pop the tape off of the end bells here and we'll get the end bells installed. Make sure you look for the punch marks and line them up. That way you know when you go to put the through bolts through, they're going to go right through for you. And don't forget to add the spring load to the rear bell before installing it. Now I like to wipe off the through bolts before putting them through just with a piece of Scotch-Brite. Just kind of helps clean them up and slides them in easier. Now I'm just going to use hand tools for the final tightening on these because I don't want to over tighten them. These bolts will snap easy. So just good solid hand tight there and you're good to go. It's always good to give it another meg test just to make sure that nothing happened, nothing was damaged while sliding the rotor back in. As you can see here, I checked the ground, we're good there, and then to the leads, I still have 550. Now I'm going to install set screws into where the grease zerks were just to, like I said earlier, to keep them from re-greasing sealed bearings. Now I'll connect my test leads and we'll give this thing a spin. As you can see, it took right off. There's no longer any bearing noise. And while this runs, I'll go ahead and use a piece of emery cloth here to clean up any rust off the shaft. Use my amp meter here to go ahead and check the amperage on all 3 legs just to make sure we're in acceptable range, and we are. Now, I knew earlier I'd have to be replacing these gaskets. Luckily for me, I do have one of these in stock, but I do not have the gasket that goes over for the lid. So we'll reinstall the new one here that goes between the junction box and the stator, and then we'll make a new one for the lid. Before we make that gasket, we'll go ahead and install the fan and the fan cover here on the rear of the motor. Alright, now let's make that new gasket. I'm going to grab a sheet of gasket making material here, and then I'll just outline the cover. I'll use a marker to fill in the holes on the cover, and then I'll take a 2x4 and a punch and a hammer there, and I'll use that punch. That's going to be about the same size of the holes, and just drive it through into the 2x4, and that way we have our openings for the screws in the junction box lid. Next, I'm going to tape up the conduit opening at the bottom, then reinstall the lid, taping that hole just to protect it from any in spray because we are going to repaint this motor. Next, I'm going to tape off the nameplate, the wiring diagram, and the shaft here. But notice on the shaft, I put sticky side out. Just a little secret, you do that, it spins on nicely, and then when you're done painting and you're ready to take the tape off, you don't have to fight it, you just grab it and it slips right off. And now it's time to paint. Alright, now the paint's dry. We're ready to remove the tape. And there we have it, a freshly repaired 5-horse 3-phase motor. Hey, thanks for watching.